So no worries about that. All right. So welcome. Thank you for being here with us. We're going to speak about the UC Davis Executive Leadership Program, particularly the fall session that's coming up and going to start in September. And so we're nice and early in the year talking about this program. You guys are still looking into it early enough that you could qualify for an early application discount, which we'll talk about as we move through our materials today. I just want to say hi, my name's Heather Ogle. I'm the program manager for this program. Pretty much ever since we've gone back online. Prior to the pandemic, we were in person, and this is one of our longest standing programs at continuing the professional education. So it was really nice to get it back up and running after the pandemic in a way that actually allows more participation and a broader breadth of speakers and leaders to come in and speak with you one-on-one in this online format. It's really provided some nice new opportunities, which we'll talk about. We're joined today by Cleveland Justice. He is our program director and your leader throughout the program and in the course. He'll be your number one contact for anything to do with the class and the cohort and keeping up. And a lot of folks like to keep touch with Cleve after the program, even because of the experience. So you'll definitely get to know Cleve. You see Jill Parrish, our portfolio director. So she's my boss there. And then we're also joined by Katie, who is our enrollment coach for this program. And Katie is going to be your very first point of contact for any questions about the application process, or if your work is paying for your participation, which is often the case for this program. She can connect you with the right people to make that happen. And so Katie, if you could pop your info into the chat, folks can grab that and hold on to that in case they have any questions after the session. She's going to be a great resource for you, getting you any of the specifics that you might need. So after that, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Cleve. Go for it, Cleve.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Heather. Thanks everybody for joining us. My name is Cleveland Justice, Dr. Cleveland Justice, and I'm the director of the Executive Leadership Program. So I can answer most of the questions around logistics and curriculum, and Heather and Katie can answer questions about enrollment logistics. So happy to tell you a little bit about the program, and would love to know what questions you might have that we can answer for you. So if you could, in the chat, as you have any questions, feel free to put those in there. Super helpful for us as we go through this, and love it also if you could just put in the chat the organization you work for. That's really helpful for us, because we typically have about a third of people from the private sector, a third from nonprofit, and a third from government. We try to mix it up, and I can sort of tailor a little bit my comments if I know that you're working for a particular company or organization. So again, my name is Cleveland Justice. My PhD is from UC Davis. I study organizations operating at the intersection of business, government, and nonprofits in entrepreneurial environments. Have a passion for leadership and organizational change. So this program is near and dear to my heart. So the curriculum for this program is based on these 4 pillars that you see here, and the program is based on these 4 pillars, which is our top-notch curriculum that we draw. Thank you so much for chiming in there. It's super helpful for us. We pull from leading research, we pull from leading practitioners, and we try to make this program relevant from the very beginning. And I'll talk a little specifically about the topics that we cover. Secondly, we have a 360-degree feedback process. Some of you may have done that before, but it's a very detailed. Your bosses, your peers, your colleagues, all provide feedback and on how you perform in the workplace, and then we use that with the next pillar, which is our executive coaching in supporting you as a leader. So that's incredibly helpful. The feedback that you get from the 360, and then the culmination of the whole program is an organizational transformation plan. And so we predicate the plan on the idea that the program, that you're going to use this information and this curriculum and information from our guest speakers in real time to make change in your organizations. So that's, it's definitely meant to be not just an academic experience, although we'll give you some of the academic background. It is very rigorous in terms of the academic background, but we want to make it applied and relevant to you. So let's go to the next slide, Heather. Great. So the curriculum, we did a fairly major revision about a year and a half ago with the pandemic, and these are the 10 core elements of the curriculum that we cover, and they map to most of the sessions in the program. We added some new ones, in particular remote leadership, since that's clearly needed in the pandemic and expected now by many employees and others. We also included a module on inclusive leadership and bias, and a fair amount on adaptive leadership and bringing your values to work, since that's really, really key. Oh, and I forgot mindful leadership, another real big essence, because understanding how you work as a leader and doing that mindfully is really half the amount of work in terms of being an executive leader. So we'll cover all of these throughout the program, but we also sort of build upon them, and they fall in a very specific order that we've designed. Let's go to the next. People often ask, so who will be the instructors, or who will be the speakers? And we bring in instructors with very specific expertise, like Lori Cameron on here. Her focus is mindfulness and leadership. She works primarily with Fortune 100 companies, their CEOs and executive teams, and that's her specialty. Dr. Jimenez Silva is focused on inclusive leadership and teaches that. We also bring in outside speakers, everyone from the director of California State Parks, who oversees an agency with 8,000 employees, to Dr. Steve Lockhart, who is a former chief medical officer of Sutter Health. Of course, our own chancellor, who's a remarkable leader, not just of UC Davis, but also of many other organizations before coming here. So that's terrific. And there'll be a couple surprises. For instance, our last cohort, we were able to have Vivek Ramade, who's runs the Kings. So we try to make it relevant to the region and relevant to specific industries. So sometimes we'll ask particular guest speakers to help fill in and add context to the program. If you were taking an MBA program, you would have written case studies. We tend to bring them to you live, so you get to meet the people, interact with them, and make them part of your network, which is really wonderful. So. Great, let's go to the next one, and feel free. Really appreciate everybody chiming in, or a number of people chiming in. If you have specific questions, that helps us. The executive coaching portion of this is focused on your strengths and using the feedback from the 360. It included all the fees for the coaching are included in your tuition for the program. And we match you with a coach based on your preferences, your skills, your interests, and we schedule them around your availability. And it's a terrific benefit to this program. Many people continue with the coaching after the program is over, they choose to form a relationship and purchase additional hours, but two hours are included, and they often straddle that work between the 360 and the organizational transformation plan. And our coaches are all certified, top-notch, world-class leaders in and of their own right.
Yeah, I'll agree and chime in with you there, Cleve. In the evaluations that we ask from folks, every single cohort, let us know what we could do better, or we can always find something. The coaches are always mentioned as one of the top highlights. The fact that they're combined with that LPI 360, that feedback is so detailed, and then pairing that with a coach who can walk you through it and help you understand all of the benefits that can be pulled out of this report, really creates that actual change possibility, rather than, hey, here are some numbers on a result and okay, see ya. And so, yeah, it's always something that's brought up and talked about a lot on our evaluations as being a large positive component, really impactful component, I think is what I'm trying to say, of the program.
Great, thank you. Let's go to the next slide. People often are curious about the cohorts, and I would say, as I said, it's about a third from different sectors. We have, I would say, and about probably 50-50 in terms of men and women. The people, these are just some highlights. We'll of course send these out for you as well. Lourdes was from one of our more recent cohorts. She's a clinical director at UCSF, a remarkable leader, nurse, professional leader, executive at UCSF, one of San Francisco Business Times 40 under 40. Don't worry that you don't have to be 40 under 40. We welcome everybody, but she's just, the kind of talent, but probably many of you that are joining us, somebody who wants to just get further along in her career and has done great work already and wants the skills to lead even bigger teams, to have more of an impact and get more responsibility in her work. Same thing with Olivia, or the fire chief at UC Davis, running a major fire department at a very complex university with all kinds of facilities and labs and hazardous materials is like running a small company. Medium-sized company, large company, and their fire chief went through it. But so we've had, and I shouldn't leave out, we've had a number of entrepreneurs, people that have had substantial responsibilities somewhere else and said, hey, I want to leave my big firm, big organization and start my own. And we've had some great successes with alumni that are starting their own companies or even nonprofits. So it's truly one of the great parts of the program are the people that you meet. Some people say, well, yeah, but if it's online, how will that work? And won't be able to form relationships. No, we have really good relationships, we do every other week, which I'll go through the schedule. We have small group sessions, which are called home groups, we even, if the COVID situation allows, we'll do some mixers throughout the session, if we can, if it's safe and all that. But we wanted to keep it online because we just got such great feedback on it. It was allowed for a lot more flexibility for people, and people formed great relationships. They've even had a number of reunions come out of it. No marriages, but some reunions. The last cohort met at a winery after the program was over, and had a great time, which was really fun. So I'm happy to answer questions about the kind of people who come, but the expectation is that you are a leader, that you're overseeing teams, and that you're an executive leader. This is not your first, leadership role, that you're expected to be in that executive leadership, at least very close track, and very significant responsibility, both overseeing other people or overseeing large amounts of resources for an organization. So the curriculum is designed for people like you that are busy, that are working full time, maybe parents, may have a lot of responsibilities. The program is designed to be every other week is the big focus. So we ask that you be in class from Thursday afternoon from 2 to 6 and that same Friday morning. Then the following week, you schedule your home group meetings, which are 1 to 2 hour meetings that you schedule that are convenient for you. The program runs for 12 weeks in this every other week format. And we ask that you plan to be at all the sessions. We know life comes up, or you may have to travel 1 week, something like that, and we do record it, but it's meant to be a synchronous event where you will be able to be there and interact and grow with your cohort. So that's really important. So if you're in a place right now where you are way too busy and you won't be able to make these times, it would be better for you to come on a different cohort. So we offer this program every year in the fall. We ask that you really block this time, that you have the support of your boss, your organization, those around you, because it is a fair amount of work. We try not to give you a lot of homework or busy work, but we ask that you really commit to it and make this a priority in both your personal and professional life. We don't want it to take over your life, which is why we don't do it on weekends, or we end by 6. And when we say 6, we really end by 6. So you can maintain balance. Having said that, it will take time, and you will need that support from your work because it's not meant to be just sort of optional catch up on the recordings another time. Great. Let's go to the next slide. Logistics. You want to talk about logistics, Heather or Katie?
Yeah, happy to.
Talking a lot.
Absolutely. So the tuition is all inclusive. We're at $5,500, and that includes materials, access to the learning platform where we all meet together via Zoom, your coaching, your one-on-one executive coaching, the LPI assessment, which, if you aren't familiar with that, is a very reputable, very commonly used self-assessment that then you also, as Cleve mentioned, share with your employees as well as your superior, so that you get a full round 360-degree assessment on how you are doing as a leader, how you're coming off, so that you can learn, oh, well, I thought I led like this. I was making an assumption. Maybe I am not, it's not coming across the way I thought it was. Things like that. So it really gets at the depth of the program. There are leadership courses out there that kind of just check the box. You get your CCUs and, move on for your professional development. That's not this program. This program is, you get what you put in, and you can have amazing results come out of it. So you also get CCEUs in case you need to accumulate those for professional development. So it's all included. You pay once, don't have to think about it again. And we are still early enough that if you're interested, you can snag a $300 discount by turning your application in by the 16th of this month. It's an easy application, but it does get at, asking, okay, how many people do you supervise? How long have you been? And what kind of business or resources? Just so that we can make sure that the cohort is one that is robust with people who are going to contribute to experiences in their own experiences in this high-level leadership. And the networking and sharing of stories is another thing that people really speak about in evaluations about this program, is the fact that you're with other people who are doing having the same challenges as you do. And if you happen not to be there yet, if you're like, oh, I really only manage one person, or I don't manage anybody yet, but I want to, we have some other programs that we can talk about for sure. But that's just the focus of this program. So get that app in by the 16th, and then you would just enroll by July 1st to snag the discount. If you need more time to think about it, that's fine. The final app is due by August 24th. So still plenty of time if you need to double check with work and things like that. And if you need to get with us, get with Katie to make those arrangements, let us know for sure. There's our contact info. Again, Cleve is, I'll let him speak to that, but I happen to know he's very available and very interested and engaged with this program, despite all of his other actual responsibilities in the world. You have my contact info there. I'm always happy to answer questions and make any connections that you need to make. And then Katie is happy to help you get enrolled and work through any sort of application issues you might come up with. All right, that is you, Cleve.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a great time to put in questions. I also put in my, oops, I think I didn't send it to everybody. I'll put my phone number in so you can also call me. This is my cell phone number, feel free to reach out that way as well if you have questions about the curriculum or what we'll be covering or the format. We had a great question about will we be going in person? We haven't decided that is the answer. We thought we might be going back in person, and then we looked at the evaluations and we talked to our instructors and we talked to our teaching team, and we've been so pleased with the outcomes and the quality of the speakers and interactions and the networking that we've been able to do online that we haven't been rushing to go back to in person. So it is certainly possible in the future, but the format has just been working out so well because we can get speakers from all over the country. We can get instructors that are just absolutely world-class that we wouldn't be able to get if they had to get on a plane and come out to Sacramento area. So yeah, that's kind of where we are on that, but we may go back in person, but for the foreseeable future we're gonna be online. But we're happy to help you with networking opportunities or other things like that. But you know, people have really enjoyed this format. So I know it seems like, yeah, I'd like to do a leadership program in person, but people have so enjoyed this interactions, and particularly the small groups and the home groups have become central to people's connectivity, not only to the program, but to one another, and then quite a number of those small groups continue. So that's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say if anything, it may be a hybrid type situation where we're still having some class, you know, weeks where we're online. Everybody can, you know, you can hop from your lunch hour straight into class. You don't have to travel. You don't have to park. You don't have to deal with any of that stuff. And then maybe we have a first class and a last class together where everybody, you know, okay, scoops up everything, travels, parks, and gets together for a final hurrah. You know, that could see something like that happening down the road. But it's always surprising. The first time I took a 6-month class via Zoom, I was skeptical, but it's always surprising to see just how connected you really can be through these programs when they're done correctly. I put in a link here to our other leadership and management development programs. We also have an inclusive leader program. So if you have staff who you'd like training for, and this is a little too high, you can always take a look at some of the stuff that we have there for our management development series. And if you have questions about that, Katie would also be your contact. Any other questions out there that we can help you with?
It's a great time. There's no dumb questions. Feel free, please. I love the questions.
We have a quiet group. Trying to think about, we just had an alumni reunion for across multiple cohorts, and people kind of shared some of their sort of check-in 6 months to a year to more check-ins on things. And it was interesting. Some of the, what was it? One executive said, you know, really learning that you need to truly be leading yourself before you can lead others, and that his final project delved in with the mindfulness, and that really spoke to me. I thought that was great. Here's a question. Outside of the class hours, can you discuss the weekly workload and commitment?
I would say it really varies. It's about 1 to 3 hours a week, every 2 weeks. We give you very high quality readings, high quality background that you can skim to be prepared, or you can read deeply and go into the research or learn more about. So it really is up to you. We understand and to design this program for busy executives and busy professionals. That's our word. Having said that, you're adult learners and you're motivated people, and sometimes you want more information. So we'd rather give you more and say, hey, here's more information, but you really only have to read this to be prepared for class. But if you want to go deeper, feel free to go deeper. So it's kind of challenge by choice. So we want to give you your money's worth, and for most of us that are teaching in the program, it's our passion, it's our life, and we want to give you resources. But expectations about 1 to 3 hours in between sessions. It's never been a major complaint for people, and we don't want to bury you because we know that you have busy lives. Great question, though.
Okay, trying to practice the leaving silence, holding silence, holding space, especially for our introverts. Yeah. Sit and think.
I know I'm always that. I want to fill it, but we're getting good questions. But I would say maybe we should wrap up, and people have our contact information. Look at people. Get outside if they're doing that, or go for a walk, or finish up work. But if you have any questions, please. Someone says, if you have a leadership certificate through the Grassroots Executive Leadership Program, should you take it? Heather, do you want to take that?
The Grassroots, I'm not familiar with the Grassroots Executive Leadership Program.
I would reach out. I'd reach out to Katie. Or me if you have questions on it. I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I'm a leadership nerd. I've taken many leadership courses. I live it. I run a company. I research it. So I always feel like you get new things depending on the program you take. And I've even taken the same program more than once. The same way I read the same book a couple times, and I pick up new things. So if you're a hungry learner, I would absolutely, you'll get so much out of this. It's just a huge opportunity to accelerate that. So
I would say it gives you, this particular program gives you the chance to explore your leadership style, your leadership presence, a lot of personal discovery and choices on how you want to do things. So if that sounds like, oh, well, I really figured that out, I'm good on that, then, maybe this isn't different enough for you. But if it's different from what you've done before, a lot of the sessions out there are really, purely academic, like, okay, this is organizational change management, or this is delegation, techniques. That's not necessarily this course. While we go into that, we go deeper. So yeah, but feel free to send me an email. I'll put my email here and I'll look up your program and see if I see a lot of difference or not.
Well, fabulous. Well, I'd say, please, let's just stay in touch. It's great seeing so many people here, and we'll be in touch. And thank you for taking this time out of your day. So,
all right, thanks everybody. Have a good evening.
all right, thank you.